This is Cycle 2, Week 23 in Famous Composers. Today we're going to be talking about Anton Dvorak. He was a famous composer in the Romantic period, and so you can talk about that with him. First off, I'd recommend starting with review. So in your script, we did this year, we put the review at the top for the previous famous composers we've talked about so far. Just a picture of him. And you can talk then and ask the kids questions. Do you remember who we've talked about so far? Does anyone remember information about their life and maybe what period of time they were in? And so you can talk about that first and then dive into who is Anton Dvorak. We have his date of birth, his death. He was born in 1841 and died in 1904. And then we have some facts about his life. We do not have a Lives of the Musicians of Dvorak. There isn't one in there, so we don't have that to go on. But if you have older kids and you're wanting to talk a little more about his life, you're going to have to just look him up and see if you can find more information about him. So once you've gone through that, there is a 5-minute Mozart if you want to play for your kids, if they like that kind of thing, or you could send that home in your parent email that week saying, if you're wanting to learn more information about him, here is some information. So you're welcome to bring a laptop in and Google it and do that. Otherwise, you could send that home in your weekly email if you prefer. But this week, as we listen to his serenade of strings by Dvorak, we are going to be making violins. So, which is perfect because it's the serenade for strings. And so we're making a stringed instrument. So what you're going to want to do is take cereal boxes. There'll be one for each kid. And you're going to want to have them cut a hole in it. I know, especially with younger classes, it can be tempting to just do everything for them. But it would be great to see if they can help work on their cutting skills and try to cut a circle themselves and then just help them as you can. Trying to keep the circle as intact as you can. So this is the cutout of the circle I made. So this was the circle. I cut it out and then I folded it in half and then in half again. And then I got the strings or the rubber bands. So every class will have their rubber bands. This should look a little like this. I try to do this to help easier for you guys, so that way you could grab this and this is for one child and then grab another one and one for one child. So you're not sitting there counting them out all the time because that just gets exhausting. So anyway, try to make it a little easier hopefully. But then you're going to want to have the kids put the strings up and around over the box, or the rubber bands up and around over the box. Fold that. You might want to tape or glue it. It stays without that, so you probably don't need to, but you're welcome to do that to keep it to stay in more. Just makes it sound better when you're playing the instrument. Obviously, it doesn't sound like a violin, but it's just kind of fun. It makes noise. And then you will want to take a paint stir stick that we got and tape it to the back. So you might want to do a few tapes good on there. And it also might not be a bad thing to make your hole a little wider so you can keep the strings a little wider, because it does affect the integrity of the box, especially in the top where it's been opened, to have it be a little more supported. But anyway, you can do that. You're welcome to, if you have extra time and you want to, you could have the kids draw on it with marker or put any of the pastels we may have left or any of the paint we may have left. You can paint if you've got extra washi tape, whatever supplies you've got left over you think it'd be fun to beautify their violin. Welcome to do that. We don't have provided any bows, so if you're wanting to get creative in that regard, you can go pick up sticks outside your house or something, and if you want to have them pretend to have a bow to play with, you're welcome to that, but we didn't supply extra things for bows. So that's that for making it and listening to it. We also have in your music folder. So the music folder that we have, that's for keeps. That's not what we take out. So we did with Tin Whistle, and then you did in the beginning with orchestra. We also have a section about the famous composer. So we have right here Dvorak. And so you have Dvorak and then a little bit about him, and then this is the serenade. So when you listen to it, if you want to listen to it again after you've done your experiment, if you have time, especially for older kids, or if you just end up having the extra time, we have this. As you listen to it, the kids can then listen for the cues for the different instruments. So it's pretty easy to follow along. There's pictures for the kids, which is fun. It makes it fun for them to go, oh, okay, now here, listen, it's the strings are happening right now, or there's a crescendo happening right now. Can you hear, is the music getting louder? And so just a good way to be a visual for the kids as they're listening to help keep their attention and paying attention to the actual music. If you have time and it's something you're wanting to work through, that is in the music folder. So good luck.